Books are there to serve you, not the other way around. It wasn't too long ago when I held the belief that I needed to read tens or even hundreds of books to become productive and ultimately successful. I mean, this seemed to be the trend with successful content creators. Scrolling through the YouTube feed or other people's channels, I would often come across videos like how I read 100 books a year, or how to become a speed reader. And inevitably, a feeling of anxiety and rush suddenly got into me. With so many people reading so much, I felt like I was missing out. Like, I thought I was productive, and then I saw these people who read 2 books a week. Yo, Robert, what the hell are you doing with your time? What are you waiting for? I kept asking myself. But then I began questioning this reading goal. I couldn't help but wonder, is it actually that important to read 100 books a year? Is this the secret formula to success? So here I am with the answer. In my opinion, it's not. I believe reading 100 books a year promotes a false sense of productivity. Like, for me, productivity is not about quantity. It's not about how many books or activities or tasks you can fit in a limited time frame. My personal opinion is that, first and foremost, productivity is about being effective, which means succeeding in producing a desired or intended result. In other words, doing things that serve a purpose or that get you closer to achieving your goals. Now, it's very easy to think that reading 100 books a year will make your life 10 times better than if you would read 10 books a year. But will it, actually? I honestly don't think that's how things work. And so in this video, I'm going to share 3 reasons why reading less than 2 books a week has the potential to produce better results in the long term. Let's get into it. The first one is deeper comprehension. When you set such an ambitious goal as reading 2 books a week, it's very likely that you'll want or you'll have to rush through the content to be able to achieve that goal. With books, I believe there's a lot of value in slowing down because it promotes a better understanding of the content. You have time to think critically about what you're reading, not just accept any idea that's put in front of your eyes, and you have time to make connections with real-life situations. Like, think about how you could actually implement an idea, or how you could avoid making some of the mistakes in the future. I can't say how important this is, at least for me, because it's not only about having a deeper comprehension of the book, but also about finding ways to implement them to improve your relationship, or get closer to achieving your goals, or accelerating your business, whatever it happens to be. Because books are there to serve you, to push you forward towards success and not the other way around. I'm currently reading Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and slowing down the pace feels incredibly rewarding. Like, I could just rush the book in a few days and get it over with. But I wouldn't enjoy it that much in this case. I like to reflect on what I'm reading, and every so often remind myself that the simple notes in front of my eyes were not written by any ordinary man, but by one of the greatest emperors of Rome, or the Roman Empire. Think about it. With such a book, you have the incredible opportunity to look into the mind of a great and beloved ruler. The writing wasn't even intended to be published. Marcus didn't want other people to see his notes. He was just writing in his journal, like a lot of us do today. And still, we get to experience a glimpse of his life, his thoughts, his struggles, his fears. We get to see the human, intimate side of such a great historical figure. So why would you want to rush the process? Why not just take your time and enjoy it? I like to put myself in his shoes and think about what I would have done. How would I have solved some of the problems he's writing about? Or what solutions could I have found to his struggles? In this particular case, slowing down means more than a deeper comprehension of the ideas. It provides an entire experience of living in another era through the thoughts, beliefs, and struggles of an extraordinary man. There's a lot to learn from that. If you're enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate if you could like the video and maybe potentially subscribe to the channel as well. Alright, thanks. Back to the video. The second reason is better retention. Again, when you're not rushing to read X amount of books a year, you actually have time to actively engage with the text. So, for example, here's what I like to do to improve retention when I'm reading non-fiction books. This process allows me to remember a lot more of the information I'm reading and for a lot longer. First, I will start by underlining the ideas that seem cool and important. You know, those ideas that resonate with me. Now, if there is a particularly interesting insight that maybe I didn't know, I will also make some quick notes with a pencil. I will basically rewrite the idea in a way that's easy for me to remember. This step is quite easy and honestly it's fun as well. Just underlining cool ideas and making some quick notes for myself. The next step is to go through the notes and the text I've just highlighted and capture what I think would be helpful for me in real life. I typically do this at the end of each chapter so that the information is still fresh, but if the book is not particularly long, I'll do it at the end after I finish it entirely. Now, for capturing, I use Notion. It's a very cool app, it's free, highly recommend it, but any digital note-taking app will do just fine. Just make sure you choose something digital so you can easily access it when you need to. It's also helpful for having everything in the same place, so you don't have to worry about finding that notebook or that page where you've written something important 3 months ago. Okay, next. Ideally, you'll want to go through your captured knowledge from time to time. Now, this is not that fun, honestly, so I try to make it as frictionless as possible. I found that the best time to revisit some particular notes is when you actually need them. Crazy, right? You know they're in the app and you can access them with just a few clicks. Boom, job done. One more thing here. Even if you don't want to revisit the notes, simply taking the time to filter what you find valuable and write it down already improves retention by a lot. It's a very high return on investment practice. Now, if you absolutely wanted to read 2 books a week, and you also have a full-time job, and you have to cook and clean and pursue your hobbies and meet your friends and stuff, you don't have time for this thing. And trust me, if you don't do it, there will be a lot of wasted potential. The books you read will only be side characters in your life. They'll come and go like nothing happened, and they'll leave nothing behind. The third reason is increased enjoyment. Reading too many books in a short period of time can steal the fun out of the process. It can very quickly become a chore, and we all know that not enjoying what you do yields worse results. I remember how it was back in high school. I was more of a maths guy back then, so I didn't have any particular interest in geography or history or biology. But I can vividly remember the countless nights when I would just grind to learn the lesson for history. It was grueling, man, because there was so much to read and learn. And because I didn't enjoy it one bit, I felt like it took me a lot more time than it should have. And I would forget everything I learned after a few days anyway. I was just reading and learning to get the high grade and get it over with. There wasn't any intrinsic motivation like curiosity or purpose or stuff like that. Now that I look back, I'm quite sure I would have enjoyed history if the circumstances were different. Like if I could learn at my own pace, or if I could choose to read about the cool historical figures and the grandiose battles, it would have been much more enjoyable. Let's take a different example. Suppose you're visiting a beautiful and exciting place, a small city from a country you've never been to. Now, how would you like to spend your time there? There are 2 options. One, you attempt to visit every single important touristic attraction in a few days. So you're always in a rush, running from one place to another, just to check every box on your list of objectives. The second option is to take your time. Visit the places you would actually enjoy seeing. Take a long walk throughout the city to feel the atmosphere of the new place. Be present, observe what's happening. Make your way to a few pubs and restaurants to try out the local food and drinks. Pay attention to how people interact with each other. How did they greet each other? Is it the same as in your home country? All of these things contribute to a better understanding of the place you've just come to, and it will stand out more when you're gonna look back on it after a few years. Because it is about the overall experience, which doesn't only include what you learn about the city, but also about how you feel about it, how much fun you have there, and so on. You've probably realized what I'm trying to do here, comparing traveling with reading books. There's literally the same approach for both of them. the two options we've discussed earlier. So I would say, if the only reason for reading 100 books a year is to check 100 boxes on your New Year resolution list, I don't think you're gonna get much out of it. Without taking the time to pay attention, reflect, take notes and capture ideas from a book you're actually interested about, you might just end up like me in history class, forgetting most of the insights after a few days. Now, if you had to leave this video with one single idea, it would be that being busy and being productive or effective are completely different things. So, do your best to spend your time wisely. And that will be it for this video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to press the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more of this. Thanks for staying until the end, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye!